All right, guys. Well, we might start to kick off. I'll just for the first 5 minutes, and then the concept of today's is really, really simple. We've been doing these collective Fridays, and a lot of people have been reaching out, which I'm really, really excited about. And they've been reaching out to both Tanya and Chris and a lot of people. So I thought, what an opportunity to showcase the leadership that we've actually got and to showcase what O'Brien real estate is really about. And it's like the brand is its people and the people is its brand. And it's just so exciting to do that. So what I did, it was quite an interesting phone call. I rang both Chris and Tanya on Wednesday night and said, look, I just want to help. Can you help me, guys? And can you just tell us what you're doing in this current marketplace, which is, and what are you doing to win? And of course, it was just an easy, yep, love to, have no problem at all. So they whipped up a bit of a slide deck for us. I assume, look, everyone, Stace has got it here. We'll get it out to everyone as well. I'm assuming that's okay. And it's just really exciting about, the challenges of what we're doing, but we're winning. If you've only just got in, I said, I really enjoyed, to be honest, this week in real estate. I've actually found it one of the most rewarding weeks in real estate, full stop for me. And I think and today was one of the best days I've actually had, full stop. And I think I've done all my check-ins this morning for where it started on Tuesday, the development of people to Friday, the innovations that we've been required to do, the extra yard that we've actually gone, the customers focus that we're actually really focusing on, and most of all about people that are banded together within 4 days. It's been extraordinary, and I really, really appreciate that, and I appreciate all your help that have gone there. Couple of new exciting things that are done, which will get out. I think it's easier to mentioning it now because you get onto our website. I'm just going to share you that as we look. Where are we here? Go here, obre.com.au. We'll get out an EDM to you, but I always thought it's good to get on here. What you'll actually see now, buying, we have our own off-market areas for properties to come on that. So we can go to there. You can see that we've got some on. So Stace and Jason have worked tirelessly over this. So it's actually a new process that we've got. So there's a separate spot there. And as you go down, and also if we go back to our home page, as you go down, it will be linked to off-market properties. And as you can see here, they'll actually come up in the buy search. So just when they, and because our website's gone up by 30% viewed at the moment, we've got these off-markets. We've also putting together an off-market package, which has a sold sticker exclusively off-market, a sold board. This is an off-market for a new for sale board, only exclusively on OBRE. Putting together some letterbox drops around it for local things, etc., and have a really off-market selling process, which is really, really exciting. So I want to just sort of reach out and say thanks to Jason and Stace, because I know that they've worked amazing on that and to deliver that. So we'll have a full package and it'll sort of be out by next week. But we did say on Wednesday, Josh's training, that'll be up and going on Friday. And of course, they delivered it as they do always. So that was really, really exciting. So what I'm going to do, so it's clearly on this, they've got the chat box down the side. I think that's a really great place to put our questions in for. Tony's going to go first, ladies first, to do this, and she's going to do a fantastic presentation for us. So she'll share your screen. We'll put it across there. So I'll make sure everyone's muted. I'll do that now. Mute all, so we can do that. And then I'll get Tanya to unher, and then I'll make Tanya. You're not muted, which is awesome. And we'll then go to you, Tanya. Now, how do you go with your tech? You good to go?
I think I'm good to go, but as you know, Dean, it's very hard to unmute me. So here we go. Right, I'm going to share this screen with you and hopefully it works. Where are the slideshow? You got it?
Got it.
Right. Okay. So I think the most important thing in this market is obviously we've got to continue with our systems and processes. I found it very difficult the first couple of days when I had to work from home because I was a little bit lost, if you like. And then I had to draw back to training from this time last year. And I thought, what better place to start is a similar market, which is what we saw exactly this time last year. We had just wrapped up the Banking Royal Commission. We're moving into a federal election. So the best advice I can possibly give anyone is look to Josh's training from last year. These are snippets from a presentation I did at the Melbourne Real Estate Conference and then again at our O'Brien conference. So I thought these are the most relevant slides that we can slot in to this market that we're dealing with today. So the first thing I do is, look, it is difficult to list property in this market, but when we change our mindset and actually just get back to business and let people know the 11 reasons why people are still buying, it's very easy to get people to come to the market now. One of the reasons why is there is a real lack of stock, and we still have those orphan buyers from January, February, March that do need something to buy. When you do list a property, one of the best activities you can do from home or you can do from the office is just the steps that we normally do. The first thing we do is we SMS the new listing to our database through Agent Box. We don't put an address on the property. We simply say new listing, 2-bedroom unit, buyers between 6 and 660. Text back yes if you want some more information. When they text back, we actually initiate that phone call, get a little bit more information in regards to their buying situation. You know, what do they do for work? Do you have a deposit? Do you have a pre-approval? So that when we do book that appointment, we know it is with a qualified buyer. The next thing we do, or the next activity, is call everyone that we know, the neighbours and landlords that sit within Agent Box, and just make that connect to let them know that a new board is going up on the street, and what price it will be, and if they are looking for an opportunity to purchase in their street, that they can certainly book an appointment, come through, or talk to one of our people about what the next steps are. We do the email alert as well, whether that's through Domain, realestate.com, or through Agent Box as well. Getting that out to our people is very important so they can see the visuals. Now, I'm huge on this. It does cost me a little bit of money, but it's probably one of my number one lead sources at the moment, and that is direct mail. So I order a double pack for brochures. 50 of them will go directly to people that we know in the street, and also our non-resident owners that own in the street as well. They have no idea what's going on locally unless they actually get onto realestate.com, which not a lot of people do. So we direct mail. We get that information either through RP data or through ownership data, and we send out a letter saying, hey, new listing, if you're interested to know more information, please give us a call. Here's our details there. Plus, we get on the phones and give them a call as well. Once the property is sold, it's very important to SMS the buyers who have inquired with the result. It's great for them to know that we are selling properties. We are selling properties within the quoted range, and that they are selling very quickly. It gives them confidence when they do go and make offers, that they're not overpaying in this marketplace. We'll always direct mail the case study. Now, that direct mail is the letter I spoke about on on Wednesday. Quite a few people rang me requesting a copy of that letter, and I'm happy to share it with you. If you do want it, please send me an email. Happy to send it. That is accompanied with any leftover brochures as well. And then we do the Just So call. Now, do we do it in this market during COVID-19? Absolutely. And it is a phone call that I've just started redoing, because I think it's really important. People do want to talk about something that they're interested in, and that's something that is relevant to them. And property, particularly property in their street, always is. And it's a nice conversation to have. What we are doing is the daily direction meeting as well. We speak, well, Chris, I don't know if people have known, but Chris has resigned. He's moving to the city. So it's just Adele and I at the moment, and we talk about where those, the opportunities are. What are the next 5 deals that we can pull together this week? Who are the 5 people we need to chase today? What's left over from yesterday that I might need to do today? And what is the one phone call activity that will give me leverage in today's marketplace? So daily direction meetings, very, very, very important. It sets up your day and it gives you that first activity where you can hit the ground running and actually do some good work for the day. In a market where it's you wake up, you're working from home, it's what can I do today to do some dollar productive activities? My number one thing that I always bang on about it, and probably bang on a bit too much, is connecting with past buyers, past vendors, past appraisals and our current landlords. Now, this data is in our office. It is free data. You don't have to pay, or data, as Josh likes to say. We don't have to pay anyone for it. It sits within our office and it is so underutilised, it's not even funny. It's underserved. We have agents that are no longer with us that have sold property in the last couple of years, that have appraised property in the last couple of years, and we need to reconnect with these people because they are the lifeblood of our business. They're completely underserviced, and I think we're better than that, and we need to get back on board, reconnect with them, especially in this market. We are going to have, at the moment, there's a real shortage of stock, but I believe in the next 3 to 6 months, we may have an oversupply of stock. So it's really important that if people are considering selling, that they do it sooner rather than later, so that they're sitting there in isolation, not in competition with 20 other properties in that same price category. So let's reconnect with these past buyers, vendors, appraisals and landlords. And one of the conversations we can have with these people is the following. Offer them an anniversary pack or a 12-month appraisal. Now, realistically, as we know, it may not have been 12 months ago that they purchased or had an appraisal from us. It could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago that happened. But a really good conversation is, hey, Chris, it's Tanya from O'Brien. Can you talk? Just a quick call to let you know it's been a couple of years since you've done some business with us. First of all, I want to apologise for the fact that we haven't been in contact with you, but I'd like to reconnect and see if you would be interested to know what your home is worth in today's market. Now, we don't have to come out and see you physically, and we're very, very conscious of COVID-19 and the social distancing rules. So we can do an appraisal via Zoom, FaceTime, or if it's just me and you in the property under the social distancing guidelines, I can certainly come out and physically see your home very quickly. We then provide you with a report that will give you some information as to where your home sits in today's market. If it's okay with you, every 6 to 12 months, I'd like to do that for you, just so you can keep a track of what's going on in your home. Now, look, with permission, again, some people like to receive the physical reports, and it is a great phone call because, first of all, I'm calling to ask permission if I can do that. Second of all, I'm doing the report and then asking permission, can I drop it off? Are you all right? Or would you like the email version? So it is, seeking permission to do the next activity, which is producing the report, and how would they like to receive that. The next phone call is the follow-up call. Hey, did you get the report? Did you have any questions? Are you looking to make a decision in the next couple of months? And if so, what are the next steps for you? If they would like the pack, this is what it looks like. It's just an O'Brien bag. Inside that, it has the report, has a small gift, an O'Brien keychain, just a few bits and pieces. It is generally like a show bag that you get at the Melbourne Show. It's full of O'Brien stuff. Now, you can pick up some bits and pieces from the office to get out to them if they would like to receive it. Again, I'm now doing a little note on the outside of the bag that says that this bag has been prepared, obviously using the guidelines, wearing gloves, etc., for their safety and for mine as well. The next thing that I'm doing, or I'm conscious of in May, is how can I get back in front of people? What's a nice little touch point activity that I can do for my clients, my past appraisals, my past buyers? I'm doing Mother's Day, and I'm focusing pretty heavily on some Mother's Day activities. Every year I do send out a Mother's Day card to my clients. I'm very, very lucky that Stavros and his family own a flower farm. So I always buy between 50 and 100 individual chrysanthemums, and they look exactly like that you're seeing on the screen right now. And they are, look, normally I give them out at open for inspections. Obviously, that is not something that we can do this year, but we will be delivering them and literally leaving them on the doorstep of all of our clients. Now, the people I deliver this to are my past buyers that I have sold to locally, but more importantly, the past appraisals that I've done as well. And I think too often as real estate agents, we disregard those past appraisals as dead leads. If they haven't come to market, you know, they're not going to come to market type thing. That is so untrue. And most of the business I get is actually from past appraisals that have said to me, hey, Tan, you always keep in contact with me. You always keep me up to date on what's going on in the market. And you always do these great little touch points that we've never forgotten about. So the Mother's Day one is super, super important to get yourself back out there in front of them and delivering something that is nice. It's not a COVID-19 touch point. You know, this is, hey, happy Mother Day from me to you. So it's really good. One of the things, obviously, that we need to focus on is knowing your numbers in this marketplace. And a really good stat, this is relevant, whatever the market is doing, is knowing your numbers. So if you have sold 500 properties over your real estate career, just know that 10% of them will transact every year. That's already 50 listings that you can get on a yearly basis without having to do any other prospecting apart from touch points. I generally try to have 6 touch points per year with all of my past clients. 6 touch points is it's not stalking, because any more than that can be perceived as, Jesus, she's always in my face. So 6 touch points is quite nice. It's once every 8 weeks. I'm either giving them something, calling them, or just connecting with these people that do know me by name and have me saved in their telephone, which is great. Know what your top 3 lead sources are. So for me, it is absolutely past clients. As I mentioned on Wednesday, my last 6 appraisals have come from past clients. They're not new people, they're past clients. Also referrals. I do get a lot of referral business, and that is quite simply because I do this. You know, I do get myself out there. I do have great relationships with all of our industry partners. I am, because I very, very deliberately do that, and it gets me a lot of referrals in return. And look, the number 3 lead source at the moment is direct mail. It works very, very well. It gives people relevant information, and it's giving them something to do. They're receiving something from their letterbox, and I don't know how many people have said to me, you know, my daily joy is checking the letterbox to see if there's something in there. Now, how amazing to actually receive a great result in their street, a Mother's Day card in the letterbox next month. And I actually did Easter cards as well, which huge response from sending out Easter cards. So nice little touch points that get you engaged with your local community. Now, look, there have been, obviously, every time we turn on the TV, negativity coming from every angle, whether it's the media and the news, whether it's banks. You know, I've got a couple of clients that I'm selling properties for that actually work in the banking industry. They have told me that obviously LVRs have been reduced significantly. For example, a lady that works for Liberty that I'm selling an investment property for, Liberty is one of these non-conforming lenders that most people will go to if they've had a credit default or own their own business. They were at a 95% LVR. They've now changed that back down to 85%, and her bank valuations are coming in significantly much lower than what they were 2 to 3 weeks ago. So we are dealing with that out there in the marketplace as well. God, this drove me insane 12 months ago. The family that simply know it all. You know, we get so close to getting a buyer to make a buying decision, and then next thing you know, Dad comes in who knows everything about real estate and says, hey, don't buy yet, the market's going to drop by another 10%. You know, we're always dealing with that, and it's best to know how to handle that with respect when we're dealing with our buyers. Social media, again, we do it so well at O'Brien, and we need to continue to do that. Another one of my friends who was on here today, Josh Horner up in Central Coast, he does a wonderful little soul dance when he puts that sold sticker up, and these are just beautiful images of positivity that I really think that we need to have out there in the marketplace. So by all means, when you sell a home, share it. When you get a great testimonial, share it. If you have a really good day in the office, share it, because this is what we need to inundate every platform with at the moment. Buyers, again, we have got buyers that are believing everything that they want to hear, and they are trawling the internet and news to find every bit of negative media when it comes to property, because they use that in negotiation with us. So we need to know what they're reading, and we need to understand how we can turn it back to say, look, and help us with negotiating, because these are the things we are going to deal with. And I put this slide in here because I really want you to be aware and very mindful of what you are going to come up against when you do get an offer from a client. Just be aware. Media, let's turn it around, make it positive. Banks, again, work with the very best brokers that you can to make sure that when we are qualifying buyers, we've got confirmation from good quality brokers that they are going to get their money through. Family who know it all, let's treat them with respect. Let's take their opinions on board. But again, you know, it is frustrating, but we need to know that this is going to happen when we're negotiating in this marketplace. Social media, I love seeing everyone's good news stories, so please keep them coming. And buyers, you know what, it's the best time to buy, and we need to share that with our buyers. I had one first home buyer last week say to me, you know, Tanya, we're going to wait 6 months to buy. And I just looked at them and said, what for? Why would you wait 6 months? In your wildest imaginations, you know, do not do that. Buy, and buy now. It is the best buying conditions that you will ever see. Another thing that is super, super important, and I cannot stress this enough, is vendor management. Now, all offers have to be in writing with me. I don't care if they're $50,000 or $100,000 under the bottom of the quote range. That offer will always be in writing, because you never know how much more the buyer has got, and you never know what the vendor will take. And I tell you now, you will be surprised at where these vendors are, because they will never ever tell you the truth. He may have lost his job. She may be on half hours. We don't know, but just get everything in writing, because as Josh said, if we do not have an offer, we do not have a decision to make. So every offer in writing, and I guarantee you, even if you can't get the deal done, what will come off the back of it is an awesome price reduction that will get that property sold to the next buyer. Super important to have a weekly Zoom meeting with your vendor. So we can't do traditional vendor meetings anymore in the office or face-to-face. So just let them know that the new norm is Zoom meetings. We are having them. They will be done. And we are going to make some hard decisions in regards to your property campaign, and that's either where we need to increase your marketing, or we need to reduce that price so that people can re-engage with your property. Buyer appointments are absolutely key, and every time you book a buyer appointment, let your vendor know. Now, I have a lot of vacant properties at the moment, and I could get complacent and very lazy and just do the buyer appointment, not let the vendor know. You have to, every time you get a buyer appointment, just let your vendor know, especially with vacant properties, because otherwise they're going to think that you're sitting there doing nothing. Weekly written report. Again, this is the most powerful tool you have at the moment. In your weekly report, you need to give them some good, hard advice. You need to be very, very direct and cut to the chase with the information that you are giving them. Let them know that there have been no sales in your price category this week. Let them know that no new listings have hit the market in your price category this week. Let them know that you're working with 10 red hot buyers in your price category, but no one has engaged in your property to a level that they're going to make an offer. These are things that we need to be writing in weekly reports as well. So to be honest with you, my number one thing that I focus on daily is where can I have that genuine conversation with my clients. The conversation has to be with good intent so that we get the desired result that we want, which is to have a very saleable property that the market will engage with. This is one of my favourite slides. These are some things that we can do in this market. Again, it's one that I pulled from 12 months ago, but now more than ever, it is super, super relevant. We are probably part of the best group that I've ever had anything to deal with when it comes to training. We get Josh Fegan monthly. At the moment, we get Josh Fegan weekly. That is, again, it is unbelievable, and people would kill to have the resources that we do. Read articles daily. The first thing I do when I wake up is I read articles that are relevant to real estate. I try not to focus too much on the COVID-19 stuff apart from the positive. You know, we're flattening the curve, only, 9 new cases overnight, whatever that might be, anything that can help me in my daily conversations with people and also with buyers as well. So just read relevant articles daily. Don't get too bogged down in the negativity because it'll just do your own head in. Attend every training opportunity that you have. It will, first of all, it gives you something to do in the day that is productive. If you can take one or two one-liners or activities that you can implement in your own business, well, then it's worth doing what you've done. Seek out agents better than you. Now, even if it's just to have a conversation with somebody, just to get one or two, little gold nuggets from what they're doing in this market, or even if it's just to have a chat about, hey, look, what are you doing? How are you doing it? How can I get involved? It's nice to have conversations with other industry professionals as well. Daily Zoom meetings and your sales meetings, listen in them. We are not all, if we have a culture of knowing it all, just leave. We're never going to know everything when it comes to real estate. The best information I get is from our sales meetings. I love listening to our team. I love hearing what they're doing on a daily basis, and I love hearing about their activity. And again, all the positive stuff they're doing out there. Implement a client care program. Now, this is something that I do and I absolutely love. The next activity on my client care program is Mother's Day. After that, moving into June, it will be connecting with all of my investors and getting them out up-to-date market reports and letters for people that have self-managed super funds, investment properties. They may need that for their accountant. So that's the next project after Mother's Day, is the investor work that we do at the end of the financial year. Do good buyer work. I have touched on that. It is more important now. Conversations, good qualifying conversations. Ask a buyer, hey, what do you do for work? It's great feedback to be able to give your vendor when you're presenting an offer. And more than ever, we need to be customer centric. So everything is about the client. We need to be empathetic towards situations. We need to know that everything is going to be thrown at us in the next 3 to 6 months. It's not going to be pleasant. We are going to have people that have lost their jobs. We are going to be dealing with people that are going through marriage breakdowns. I had one 2 days ago, which was a suicide. So, and this is a client of mine that I've had for 6 years. So it broke my heart, but unfortunately it is something that we may have to deal with in the future. And just please, 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 let's be prepared for the worst, but let's also focus on the best of everything that we do as a brand and as a company. And that's me. That's me done. Right, who wants to unmute me?
Now, good. So Tanya, can you want to send us back to just the normal screen there, please?
Yeah, I don't know how to do that. What do I do?
It's up the top. There's is it a yellow space to go down?
Okay.
Top of the screen, stop sharing, 10.
Radio, red button. Okay,
Gotcha.
Hello.
So we're back. So where are we here? So let's go, Tanya. Just a couple of questions I want to throw out there first. You're in the office.
Yes, I am in the office.
And have you? Why is that? We had a conversation the other day. I mean, you've got a son that would be probably learning from home at the moment, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. So a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm easily distracted. Anyone that knows me knows that I am easily distracted. And I do my best work when I'm surrounded in a professional space. Yes, I do have Ethan at home. He's doing classes, like most of us that are parents. He's doing homeschooling. So, and plus I also have a husband that is a night shift worker. So there's many reasons why I'm in the office, but I think the most important is I'm very lucky. I do have an office where I can shut the door. So from a social distancing point of view, I'm protected and I'm safe. Plus I've got my tools here. You know, all of my tools are here. Most people are set up to work remotely. I'm not. And I have very, very deliberately didn't set myself up to work remotely because I like being in this space. It makes me feel professional. It makes me, it motivates me to do what I need to do.
And we caught up on a Saturday there, and your mind shifted. It was an interesting, because we talk about, obviously we're in denial, we're in crisis, then we're in planning, and then we're actually in opportunity. And it was a great conversation to have, and I've actually taken it back as a learning experience for all my team. You want to tell us about that, when that mindset just shifted?
Yeah. So that really hit home to me when you wrote that up on the whiteboard. It was a light bulb moment for me. It was, oh my God, like I've been doing listing presentations and giving real estate advice in crisis mode. And that is the worst thing I think I've ever done in a 17-year career, was actually, give advice in that mindset, which was, and to give you an example, it was doing a listing presentation and asking the client, do you need to sell? Well, no, we don't really need to sell. Oh, well, don't sell, for God's sake, don't sell in this market. And that was genuinely my response in 3 or 4 different presentations. And it was because we were in this crisis mode where we simply didn't know what was going to happen out there in the marketplace. We didn't know whether or not we'd ever sell another house again. And it was just a silly attitude to have. So I actually lost one of those presentations I did. I lost to my number 1 competitor. And I reflected on our conversation and went, well, obviously he didn't have the mindset I did. He had a very positive mindset, whereas I was in a, oh my God, the world's caving in mindset. After the last Collective Friday, listening to Chris Hill and Jai and a couple of other successful agents that are doing some really, really good work, I came into the office and ran every single appraisal that I'd done in crisis mode, and listed 3 off the back of just a different conversation. And the conversation simply said, hey, I know I appraised your home last week and told you to keep it because you weren't in a position where you needed to sell. Well, that's now changed and I think you should sell it. Here's a plan. This is the strategy we're going to move forward to. This is the pricing that we're going to hit the market with. Is it all right if I send over the paperwork to you and let's get that ball rolling? And 3 of them said, yeah, absolutely, let's go.
Before I pass on to Chris, because you spoke about Chris and Jai doing some great work, and I think it's a real privilege to have, and I can see all the thanks down here in the chat room. It's a real privilege to actually have you in our brand, as you said, from a supportive perspective and as a mentor as well. So thanks very much for what you've done. And as you said, I know when people reach out, you're actually so willing to share your information. So thank you again. And for guys in here, do yourself a favour and just, well, you can't actually go and buy a coffee. I'm sure she'll.
Hey, I'll take wine deliveries. I'll give you my address. Just drop them at the front door.
I really do think that you'll be inspired by spending an hour with Tanya. So please do. So thank you so much, and
my pleasure.
Really appreciate it. So I'm going to sit across to you, Chris, now. So I'm going to get across there. So if you don't know Chris, obviously Chris is. Joined the O'Brien team, I think we're 12 months in Feb. So it's an interesting insight to Chris because he's obviously joined 12 months and his wife Candice works with us as well. And 12 months in a new brand. Last brand he was with there for as long, I think it was up to 9 to 10 years there, to come in to do that and then to hit a marketplace like this. So I thought, one, it'd be a great opportunity to listen to Chris and move forward. So thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks, Dean, and thanks, everyone. So thanks, Tanya. That was an awesome presentation as well. So got lots from that. But I've just put a little presentation together as well, and I just wanted to share, I guess, some of the stuff that we were doing. It was an interesting thing talking about like the crisis mode and then, moving on through. I felt like Candice and I really didn't hit the crisis mode. I think we hit crisis when we moved from a brand to a new brand and started with zero. So this almost seemed a little bit easier because we had the stock, we had the contacts, and we could just adapt straight away. And I've always been a big believer that the quickest to adapt is the person that wins. So this is our presentation that we put together, and I just thought I'd share the plan that basically as soon as everything shut down, we were working from home, Candice and I got together and literally were like, cool, what do we do next? Like, how do we redo this? Because we know that pretty much every other real estate agent is going to sit in the corner and go, I don't know what to do. So it was firstly about doing that. So first off, we identified how was the best and most productive way for first performance. So what we identified was, first off, it was my job to deal in the now. Candice, we're expecting our second baby in July, which is very exciting. So with the crisis, thing going on, there was recommendations that people who are pregnant shouldn't be going out lots. So first off, we went, well, great. Candice is absolutely phenomenal on the phone. She can get what she needs out of a phone call. So we identified that as a strength. And for me, it was going to be going out and closing deals and getting things done. So first off, every day, Candice and I start off with, it used to be just a daily directions meeting. We've now converted that to a daily direction and innovation meeting. So we basically just review what it is in the marketing world that we're looking to do in the next week, and how we can isolate what are our top to-dos, and just try and find something that's new, something that we can put out to our clientele that just captures their attention. We know there are a lot of sort of sitting at home not knowing what to do next. So I think I think that's been a really, really productive thing. From there on in, I go straight into my vendor calls and my Zoom meetings. I've currently got about 27 listings going. So for me, it's taken me 12 months with O'Brien to build up to this level. The last thing I want to do is lose all the listings that I've accumulated. So for me, it's a lot of love and care. I've probably shifted the mindset on buy runs at the moment, where it's not specifically to sell a property, but it's more so to show the client that you're servicing them and getting them the most amount of work on their particular property possible. So, like I said, Zoom meetings for 45 minutes, just a quick catch up with as many vendors as possible. That might not be a Zoom every day; it could just be a phone call, but we do try and have the face to face. Then for me, I go straight into a hot buyer chase list phone call session for 45 minutes. Then straight into another one that is a hot chase list for sellers. Really positive sentiment. It's just talking about transition costs. So, saying I learnt years ago is what you lose on the roundabout, you pick up on the swing. So, it's a motion to say, well, yes, things could be down right now, but if you're selling a property at 600,000 and looking to move up to the $1 million range, if 10% comes off at 600,000 and 10% comes off at $1 million plus a reduction in stamp duty, you're actually saving a lot of money doing it right now. So more so isolating what are the opportunities that people have at the moment, rather than focusing on the doom and gloom that we've had. Another thing that we've been doing a lot of is in our call sessions to our sellers, we don't mention COVID-19 pretty much at all. For us, it's literally just, hi Dean, it's Chris from O'Brien's. We gave you an appraisal on your property 12 months ago. We just thought we'd give you a courtesy call and give you a quick update as to what's happening at the moment. Here's some recent sales. I've just sent you across another updated appraisal. Is there anything we can do? Have you got any plans for the next 12 months? So just literally just trying to keep it away from it as possible. And we found that's been really, really productive because our clientele turn on the TV and they see COVID-19. They jump on Facebook, they see COVID-19. They go to buy a coffee at the cafe, they say, oh, you have to stand 1.5 metres away. So everywhere they see this thing come up, and the one thing I think is good that is we're not bringing it up whatsoever. The next part for me is then I go into the next call session, which is just a simple goal, just speak to 10 past clients a day. So just have a really quick conversation with them, a check-in, say hi. Again, it might not even be real estate related, but just a call to say hi. For me then, the day is just full of as many buyer appointments and maps as I can do as possible. For Candice, if you jump over to that side, like I said, her job is the maps which come off the calls. Any innovation marketing and Reader, for those that are using it, if you do need help on Reader, Candice is literally the best in the game at it. So if you want help, make sure you contact her. But basically, Candice's job is, first off, all inquiries, first off, for the the day before or previous night. And then she's just 2 further call sessions on Reader. Then she's sending out all the appraisals. I think yesterday she booked 4 or 5 off the call sessions through Reader. And then she's straight into the marketing and implementation, which is any collateral that has to do with the mail merge, all stuff going to the post office, social media content, anything like that. So that's pretty much the way that we run our routine. In terms of numbers, like Dean and I were speaking about this and how we could explain it, we gave a bit of an idea. Last quarter we hit 180,000. Dean set a goal for this quarter to hit 271. We had 31 properties and we had a commission pool of about 350,000 ready to go. This quarter has now been reviewed again and it's come down to 140. So we're very mindful that we're going to be doing probably a lot more work for a lot less reward. But when the damn wall breaks, things will flow on quite readily. So basically, we identified the numbers and how that sort of looks. I've always, in my last position as well, I always looked at the conversion numbers on rates. So previously, if I did 15 maps, I'd have 10 laps and I'd list 8 properties. Previously, if I did 10 VAPs, I'd get 8 offers and I'd sell 4 properties. In the last fortnight, I've done 42 buyer inspections. I've got 8 offers and I've got 2 sales. So all of a sudden, that's the new number that I've got to work off. So for me, wanting to hit the 140K GCI goal, I know that I need to do 80 VAPs a month. I need to do 40 maps a month, and I need to do 12 laps a month. That'll give me 4 sales or thereabouts. So again, for me, I just have a target on goals, not on commission, but more so on the actual appointments that I need by conversion rate. So I know what I need to close off on. And then I know when I finish the end of the day, well, I've hit the goal that I've needed to hit, and tomorrow's a new day that I can kick it off again with. I put down the bottom there, control your morale. I'm pretty lucky because I think I'm a person that can move on from something very, very quickly. But I've always had a really big mindset on that next sort of thing. And what I know is, like I said, with those numbers, I mean, I'm going to do around about 9 times as much buyer appointments to sell probably 3 less properties a month. So I know I'm going to be doing a lot more work. So it's about when you get to that appointment and you don't particularly get the outcome that you want, that's when you need to have a backup plan. And your backup plan probably needs to have a backup plan as well. So it's about not sort of getting bogged down, I guess, on that result or what you were hoping for. Because if you've only got one thing on the go, I find that's when you get really upset because you've lost all that you had, that you were chasing. Whereas if you have 10 things on the go, if 2 things don't work out, but 8 do, well, again, your morale is great and laughing. In terms of reinventing, well, the quickest thing ever, like Tanya identified her lead sources. Mine, again, is past clients. My second is open for inspections. I've always been really good at working open for inspections. So as soon as they said you can't do open for inspections, my second biggest lead source was crushed. So again, straight away, we're like, okay, great. What do we do now? I'm pretty lucky that we've built a good social media following. So for us, it was like, well, quite simply, that's the easiest way for us to keep pushing and getting in front of our local marketplace, not just our database, but our actual community as an entirety. And, we spend roughly about $50 per post on a social media post out of our own pocket. But like you can see, like there's a property there that we put up that got 532 comments and 22 shares. It was engaged with 12,000 times. Another one that's, just been gone on the other day that's, had 6,000 engagements. Again, our virtual appraisal stuff. So that stuff that we sent out, just that virtual appraisal one, we got 6 requests for appraisals through Facebook. So that was pretty cool. And then again, this is just some more social media stuff that we're doing that I'm happy to, share with anyone. But that phone one that Ash made for us, just off Instagram alone, we picked up 11 appraisals just off that, just because it was a bit of a call to action and it was something different to what everyone else was doing. Again, the video content and then showing people the results that we're still having. We were really, really conscious that we didn't want to say to people, hey, COVID-19. It was like, hey, here's some stuff that's happening in the marketplace. Here's some sale results. Here's a nice house. Like just trying to create a little bit of normality in the consumer's mind to make sure that they were just comfortable to continue working with us and keep on the track of what we want them to do, which is ultimately continue buying and selling. Another thing that we've done, which Kenneth, Dean and I have been working really closely together with, is the mail merge and just trying to get it really, really sharp and really professional. So we've got a new brochure pack that we've identified, and rather than the brochure pack having local letterbox drops, it's now got the just sold and just listed 100 each, which will go direct to mail merge. We've had this made up through marketing, so it's the just listed, and then on the back it's got the last week's top sales. Again, just trying to show here's a listing and here's a bit of a results-based drop, just to try and create a little bit of normality. And on the front, we're having printed distributed by Australia Post, COVID-19 conscious. So again, like Tanya said, just showing the consumers that, you know, we do have their best interest at heart. In the mail mergers, we're also chucking in our last 20 sales. I've put there obviously that drop that Stace has kindly created for us and done a great job of. The next thing is Reader, and I reckon the new Reader is just absolutely amazing. And like I said, Candice has absolutely nailed it. A lot of people have done training on it, but it's getting really, really clear and precise on the marketplace that you're targeting when you are targeting your prospecting. Like I said, I'm pretty lucky because I've got a lot of past clients, but I think when people have sort of got a database that's a little bit wishy-washy and mix-match, it's really, really great to identify the exact people that you need to speak to and have a really clear conversation with them around what you're trying to get out of it. And like I said, yesterday there was 5 appraisals booked off 3 call sessions just from doing that. Active Pipe is another part that we've reinvented. So again, we're just trying to get in front of as many consumers as possible. I'm not particularly looking for results. I'm not looking for conversions. I'm not looking for listings. I'm not looking for sales. I'm just looking to connect with the client to make sure when this does start to settle down and things do start to retain and, you know, go back to somewhat of a normality, the consumer will come back to us because we've been the one that's been there holding their hand through the whole thing. Not as a, hey, I'm your friend, because a lot of the time I'm not, but more so as the person who continued doing what they needed you to do, which was keep them informed about what's going on in the marketplace. So that's my presentation. Thanks very much. How do I? Everyone's still muted.
Can't hear you, Dean.
Unmute yourself, Dean.
Got it. All good. I'm here now. Sorry, guys. I think this is a classic example of doing real estate the right way. And it's a good lesson for everyone in real estate because for me, when Chris and Candice come to have the conversation, so Chris and Candice both have been a great asset to our business, and we're really proud of that. But it's also very important that Chris was my #1 competitor. So when it's, when you actually look at it as an individual person, I think a lot of real estate agents out there, try to think they're competitors. They need to fight with them, argue with them. But there's a classic example that your #1 competitor, you just never know when an opportunity comes up. So to be a good person and have that was great. So we're really blessed that we both have Chris and Candice with us. So a couple of things that I need to know from Chris, for you guys from the back end, I don't think you'll see a more calm and consistent person in our business at this point in time. It's again the leadership that he's had in his position up that, and also great support. So is Candice in here? I was just going to check. So Candice, I wouldn't mind actually bringing you in a little bit on this sort of saying, because you both work as a couple. You've got a little girl Lola that spends a fair bit of time with you, and you've also pregnant at the moment, and you're all doing real estate together. So there's a fair bit of balance in this. And how are you guys going with this and all what's happening around?
I think the reality that we came to pretty quickly is that we can't change this situation, and we can only rely on the skills that we have. So for us, like Chris said, we never actually went into a crisis mode. We were always, probably in that last year when we moved from Barry Plant over and started again. So I think we already had the skills and the tools that we needed. It has been a bit different. Obviously, this time around, we've got Lola hanging around and obviously a new bub on the way. But like I said, we can't change the situation. All we need to do is get on with it and implement the skills that we do have.
I just put it out there to the team out there. If you've got any questions, jump in here and go with it, because I think one of the most powerful things that we've learned today is the power of the mindset. Do you know what I mean? I think I had a real reality check, and I can say this openly. My team would have noticed on Tuesday I was in a pretty bad mood. I had told a few people, I had a few genuine conversations, and the power of the mindset. And I actually went home and I started blaming people, and I realised it was actually should have blamed myself because it was a leadership issue, not necessarily a people issue. And to the power of changing that to Wednesday to when we got in today, we had the very best day in real estate today, because I just felt that I've got a collective group of people that are all paddling in the same direction with a positive mindset, with no real crisis mode, but more into the planning and also the opportunity moving forward, which is really, really cool. Has anyone got any questions? Because I know you've got this opportunity. I better make this statement. By the way, those marketing drops are only designed yesterday. So they will be out in the marketing pack for you guys to get. So just let's be conscious of that. Secondly, the new Rita, you guys that are on Rita will be updated next week for you. From that perspective, we were beta testing with Ian and Sarah from Rita. So we've got to get conscious of that. But I'm actually going to take the opportunity to get Candace, if you are using Rita, and when you'll find that people will be moving forward, I'm going to tell you now, get Candace to come spend some time with you. She's been our girl in our office, and she's doing a super, super job on that as well. So I better be careful when we see those marketing drops, because other people haven't seen them. They're only designed yesterday. Yes, they are COVID friendly, etc. like that. So they will be in the marketing MRAP this week, and I think they're going to go out there. So again, guys, I just stress to you guys, this world of independence is fool's gold. We need to be interdependent, not independent. And we've got two massive leaders in our organisation. And I just say, send them a phone call, buy a bottle of wine. It'll be the best wine you ever drink. Chris is Scotch. I'm happy to help him with Scotch. So Tanya is wine, but make sure it's good wine, because she deserves it, because it'll be a great hour of power. But more importantly, guys, thank you so much. As I said, we've got through a bit here. We will send those slides out to you guys, which I know they're happy to share. But again, what an awesome collective Friday that we've done as well.